This is Served with me, Andy Roddick. Please hit subscribe. We drop new episodes every week. This clip's brought to you by ServiceNow. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents. I'm endlessly fascinated because obviously I'm a huge fan of your game. You've been a massive prospect in tennis for a while now. But also it's impossible to turn the channel, whether it's a post-match or post-tournament speech, whether you give an interview, you always have something kind of interesting and different to say. The thank me speeches, is it something you think about, or do you kind of just shoot from the hip when you're in these scenarios?
Well, honestly, as I said, the first time I said it, I won the 60K in Israel. It's been 4 years ago, and I just had a bet with my coach that, we're just laughing on that Snoop Dogg interview when he said that. And I was like, okay, if I win the tournament, I'm saying it. He's like, no, you're not going to do it. You're you're just going to go away. You're not going to say it actually in front of all of those people. And then after, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And then I won, and then I did it. He was embarrassed a little bit, I would say. But then after, I kind of decided that, every time that I'm going to win, maybe that's what I'm going to say. And then the first WTA tournament that I won 2 years ago, I decided to say it as well. And then, first few times there were not a lot of people to actually, get it famous and get it online on the internet. And then after, when I won my first 1000 tournament, it started to get viral. And then the more I won, the more I said it. And now it's kind of like a little trademark, I would say.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you say your inspiration for this was Snoop Dogg?
That's right.
Can you explain that for our listeners who don't understand the connection, please? And producer Mike, because he has no idea what you're talking about.
Stop.
Well, it's very, very simple. We just saw an online video of Snoop Dogg doing a speech. I guess it was an award that he won or something. And he just said, last but not least, I want to thank me. And that famous song of his plays on the background. And he just started saying, I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for never taking days off and all of that stuff. And I just play around with, the words in the end a little bit, what I want to actually thank myself for, not use everything that he said, obviously. And that's it, basically.
I love it because I think paying the respects to the team is great, and we also expect it at this point. So, listen, I know it's coming at this point, and I still never turn the channel because I think it's awesome, hilarious, and I think it's completely differentiated. So please never stop being you, and never stop thanking yourself for the tennis fans. Anyways. The other thing that I always admire, and you get some criticism for it, and I don't like it, is you're honest, right? So the same with the speeches and the viral, and we all love that, but then we want to really, really have something to criticize. And when you go nuts, whether it's Indian Wells or whether it's different moments, we all kind of clutch our pearls. I can't do it because I'm on record as breaking stuff too much on a tennis court. But how do you kind of value the feedback when you get criticized for, maybe breaking something or saying something that you maybe shouldn't?
Yeah, I would say overall, I'm an emotional person. If I win, I get super excited, very happy. If I have a good mood, I would just dance around, annoy my team, poke everyone around. If I have a bad mood, I'm not talking. I smash the balls, I hit my rackets, I hit myself, it's basically from point A to point B, like there is such a huge difference. And I feel like people like to talk, and whenever something is going not very good, they obviously will talk about it, and that's okay because I guess that's what people do. And obviously some moments that I'm not very proud of, as we're playing on bigger stages, obviously it's going to go viral, obviously people are going to talk about it. And I guess I've learned that there is no escape. Basically it's just going to get online one day somehow. As your good moments go online, also your bad moments will go online. And I think a lot of players have that as well. I don't know. I try to kind of, I don't know, obviously get away from that and, fix it, improve, change, work on it, la la, la, all that stuff. But obviously sometimes it's just not very easy, but I'm still trying to improve and work on it. And if it goes online, it's okay, I guess. There's nothing I can do about it.
It's weird because I always have these conversations with people, and it seems like everyone wants players to be like a Roger or a Sampras or like someone who's kind of always seemingly in control. And I always make the point, if McEnroe would have behaved himself, I don't know that he would have been as good. Like, so how do you kind of, when you're working on this, how much of the conversation is about don't do this versus do it, get it out of your system, and then maybe move into a more positive space?
I would say that for me, focusing on don't do it doesn't really work, because when I think of don't, your brain, my brain personally, thinks of you have to do it. Like, this is what you have to do right now. So when I really try to kind of let myself, let it out, scream, I don't know, break a racket, smash the ball, and then after it's just kind of, it's just easier to play. Like, the glass gets full of water and then after it explodes and then you just feel easier. So for me, I feel like it's important to let it all out, but, not to kind of focus on letting it all out for a couple of points or a couple of games. Like, you let it out, but next point, you're there 100%.
Talk about, because I remember watching Conchita play. I remember watching the final when she won Wimbledon and she hit 8 million passing shots that day against Martinez. It was amazing. But she was someone who you didn't really have to wonder what she was thinking when she was playing. She wasn't one of these players who didn't let you in emotionally. You could see if she was having a good day, if she was having a bad day. How important is it for you to have someone who also kind of had that personality where they had to kind of, I guess, navigate the ebbs and flow of emotion? And is she understanding of your personality?
I honestly didn't know that she was kind of emotional when she was playing. That's good to have a conversation with her about that, because she never told
me. She wasn't like as bad as like me, but she would slam a ball. She wasn't, you didn't have to wonder where she was at.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that with her when we get to Toronto. That would be
an interesting conversation.
But honestly, I would say that we talk a lot about her experience, about the way that she used to play, how she handled pressure, how she handled her emotions. Then, she tries to give me advices on maybe try to do this, try to do that. Obviously, they also try to work together with my psychologist to kind of have that, teamwork, to not say different things, but, to focus on one direction and help me with that. But I think that it's important that she's been through that. She understands what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, whether it's a first round when I defend points or whether it's my first final of a Grand Slam. She's been there everywhere, every single tournament, every single stage of her career. So I think that for me, it's just super special that, she's there for me and she understands it, and then she's just there to try and help me with that.
How important was it for you when you were kind of looking to hire a coach, that coach have the pedigree that you were talking about? She was top 10 for a decade, top 5, and won a bunch of Fed Cups and obviously won Wimbledon. And how important was it for you to want someone with that pedigree? And also, does that matter because they don't really have to agree with you all the time because they actually have those accomplishments?
Yeah. Well, when I was talking with my agent, I said that I really wanted a coach that, used to play. So either an ex-player, doesn't have to be like top 10 Grand Slam champion, just, that a coach knows how to play tennis. And also I need a coach that is not going to say, oh my God, Mirra, you're doing so good. You're great. Like, I need a coach that, if I'm not moving my legs, my coach is going to say, you're not moving your legs, like move your ass and just do something. I don't want a coach to just, say all of those supportive and nice words to me, because I can do that myself, no problem. So when, we were talking about this, I was thinking to work with a lot of ex-players, but obviously now all of them, they have families, they have kids, and a lot of them were not available. But then after he was in Indian Wells in 2024, and then after he asked me, do you know Conchita? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, she was an ex-player. Yes, I haven't seen her play. And that's when it all started. And then that's when, we tried to, spend some days together. I think it was 4 days. And then we went to a tournament in France after my wrist injury. And since then, I just felt like, that's the right person. I would say that I felt like she was the right person maybe after 2 days of practice. I felt like, the match, the click, and I was like, okay, we're going on a tournament and then we'll see how it goes. And you see, since then, it's working great.